A new 643 million Singapore dollar manufacturing facility is set to bring 1,000 new jobs to Singapore in the next 12 months. US tech firm Applied Materials is also partnering local institutes of higher learning to develop talent in the field. Caitlin Ng tells us more about Singapore's continuing push to be a semiconductor hub.
Ocean over there.
AI is still the talk of the town. Its demand is driving a sharp increase for more powerful semiconductors, and companies are expanding capacity to keep pace. Applied Materials' new manufacturing and research campus will more than double its advanced cleanroom capacity in Singapore.
Everyone here has a smartphone in your pocket, so you have a computer and a camera. There's one chip, the application processor, that has 20 billion transistors, 100 kilometers of wiring, takes over 2,000 steps to build that chip, and over 50% of the materials in the chip come from Applied Materials. There is no doubt that AI is going to be a transformational technology.
But expanding production is only one part of the equation. Industry players say talent will be a key differentiator as technologies become increasingly complex and AI-driven. To strengthen the talent pipeline, Applied Materials launched a 3 million Singapore dollar partnership with the Singapore Institute of Technology. This includes an industry professorship and scholarships to train engineers in areas like robotics and agentic AI.
We want to build a talent pipeline of engineers, researchers, professionals equipped with competencies in semiconductor manufacturing, robotics, and advanced automation. Today is not only an important moment for Applied, it represents a significant milestone for the broader ecosystem here in Singapore and the region as well.
The expansion comes as Singapore seeks to deepen its role in the global semiconductor supply chain. It's a strategy it hopes will draw investments and create opportunities for local firms and workers.
These capabilities will matter more as the future of semiconductors depends not only on chip design, but also on breakthroughs in materials, processes, integration. It creates opportunities for local suppliers, strengthen our advanced manufacturing base, and help Singapore-based companies plug into global value chains.
As competition intensifies globally, Singapore is banking on its ecosystem of manufacturers, researchers, and skilled workers to stay ahead.
Every electronic device runs on semiconductors, and the race to dominate who makes them and where is one of the defining electronic economic contests of the modern age. But the ongoing US-China trade war and export controls have pushed companies to look to Asia, and Singapore is a critical node in the ecosystem. Chok explains why the country is a major semiconductor player.
1 in every 10 chips produced globally is from here in Singapore, and so is 20% of the world's semiconductor equipment. The industry is a critical component of Singapore's economy, contributing close to 6% of its GDP. Now, the sector also employs more than 35,000 workers. Singapore is in a unique position. It's embedded across the entire supply chain. Companies like Broadcom and Marvell develop AI chips here. Moving down the chain to fabrication, there are other international players. Global Foundries, Micron, UMC all run wafer fabs here, serving markets from automotive to AI. And in packaging and testing, Singapore is home to 4 of the world's top 10 outsourced providers. But the most advanced chips, those below 3 nanometers, are still made almost exclusively in Taiwan and South Korea. This means that while Singapore is not in the frontier race, it still competes on mature and specialty tech. Competition in this field is intense. Singapore's manufacturing costs are higher than regional neighbours. There's a talent crunch, and other regional economies are also catching up.
Other countries are also putting in very aggressive incentives, building industry parks, and trying to attract the same investment as what Singapore is doing. Where we could really lose grounds is in 3 areas if we are not careful. First, if we do not move fast enough in new growth areas like, say, advanced packaging, power electronics, photonics, and chiplets-related technologies. Secondly, if our talent pipelines cannot keep up with the industry needs and pace. Now, thirdly, is if our local SMEs do not upgrade fast enough to participate in the higher value parts of the supply chain.
To stay ahead, Singapore is banking on investments and nurturing the workforce. A 37 billion Singapore dollar plan aims to deepen corporate R&D here and seed local deep tech companies in the supply chain.
These investments must add depth to our ecosystem, strengthen Singapore's role in global supply chains, and create good jobs for Singaporeans. Advanced manufacturing is becoming more automated, digital, and AI-enabled. Companies that can raise productivity, improve quality, and adapt faster will be better placed to compete.
Singapore aims to continue growing the sector by connecting investments to local suppliers and talent pipelines.